What's up, Broncos Country? Welcome to the Tailgate Talk here from Bourbon, Broncos, and No BS. The fans are excited. Are we excited? We are excited to beat the freaking Bills, guys. I am here also with John and Spotty. What up? Are you excited?
Let's go, baby. I'm not going to have a voice today. You already know that.
Guys, everybody is absolutely stoked. Fans are starting to head into the stadium. But start posting your comments, start posting your questions. The other guys will be here before too long to kind of start talking about other stuff going on, the inactives list and everything like that. But to get a feel for what's going on, guys, I know they're kind of packing up, but yeah, the cheering just will not stop, and people are just absolutely ready to go. Man, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this game?
I'm ready for this game. Let's go. From Phoenix, Arizona, it's Bronco game, Bronco Country up in this.
That's what I'm talking about. Today. This is the day, man. This is the day. Broncos Country all day long has been absolutely stoked. What about you guys? We ready for the game today?
Of course. It's our year. It's our year. We're back. 10 years later, we're back. We're going to get some out violence today.
Yeah, that's what Bro, I love that. I'm watching for that all day long. Thanks, guys. This is going to be awesome. Guys, I'm seriously telling you, the excitement is real here today. Hey, Spotty, John, what are some things you're looking for today in terms of like strategy or what you need to see from the Broncos?
Well, honestly, the biggest thing the Broncos need to do is make sure we stop James Cook, and then number 2 is contain Josh Allen. We know last week against Jacksonville that Josh was a little banged up, so I'm not really sure how much he's going to run today, but you know that's how he wants to test us. So we got to make sure that cage rush and Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benito make sure to keep him inside the pocket so Jonathan Franklin and Zach Allen can get him.
Love it. Yeah, there we go. And look, this is strength against strength. Our number 1 defense versus former or current reigning MVP Josh Allen. Their defense is going to give our offense opportunities. I'll put money on our defense to win this game all day long.
All day long. Seriously, this is, people are talking about a revenge game, right? And
myself included.
Yeah, I know. I've been saying it too. And the feeling of that is, I'd say all day long, people have had that feeling of like, it's time to get them back. It's time to make our own name. Look, Josh Allen has had his chances. Josh Allen has sat there and said, oh, let's try again this time. Oh, we can't get past Mahomes. Let's try again this year. Oh, still can't do this. Blah, 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 blah. We're done with that. It is now time for Bo Nix and company to go out there and put these guys to bed, just like every other team in the NFL has done. So, any other kind of people have come back from injuries and everything. What are some of the players that you're looking for this week to make a big impact?
I mean, your boy right here. Well, we need Benito to have one of the biggest impacts in this particular game, but
Cooper on the other side.
But when it comes to injury, we're not getting a lot of the guys back that we would hope. I know a lot of us were hoping Brandon Jones would come back. I know a lot of us were kind of hoping for J.K. Dobbins. That's not going to happen. What we need is those people behind them to step up. We need the P.J. Locks to step up. He's the one who actually had a bad game last year against Buffalo. So we need him to have a much better game. And, of course, I actually think the difference maker this year is going to be R.J. Harvey.
R.J. Harvey could have a huge game. McLaughlin, if R.J.'s not getting it done, McLaughlin, he can get that 9-8 yards of carry. He's not going to bust it for 50 yards. Harvey can do that, but we'll see. We saw it against Chargers. Harvey was struggling a little bit. So I think this defense will give us opportunities to run the ball. And look, Bo Nix is part of that equation, too, when it comes to running.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's a designed run or just scrambling.
Yeah. So. No, I think that's definitely, it's the weak area for the Bills. They can't stop the run. And you saw what Jacksonville did last week, too. And that was a huge part of their success against the Bills, was getting that run game going early and frequently. So what we've seen from the Broncos in terms of these long, sustained drives, I think that's probably one of the most fundamental keys of this game. In terms of turnovers, guys, I can't stress enough. Turnovers today are going to be absolutely monumental. And we have got to find a way to win that turnover battle. What do you guys see in terms of, interceptions, fumble recoveries? What are you looking for in that regard?
Well, Dave is the one who brought it up this last week. So Buffalo likes to disguise their charges or their coverages. So they are going to shift after the line is set. Bo has to be able to read that. We saw last week that the Bills got Trevor Lawrence to throw some pretty damning interceptions, and that's what changed the landscape of the whole entire game. So Bo needs to not be sticking on that first read. That's exactly what they're going to look for. So I actually believe that the biggest difference maker in this particular game has got to be Bo. There's a lot of naysayers for Bo this week. I just saw they ranked him the 8th best quarterback in the whole entire playoffs that's left. Okay, so they literally ranked him the worst. That's insane. So Bo needs to be the difference maker.
Yeah, and then on our defensive side, we got to find ways to get an interception from Josh Allen, get the ball on the ground, sack fumble. We saw it against the Chargers from Bonito finally getting that sack. We've been asking for it all year.
Yes, and more strip sacks.
And then won another pick six.
Hey, I like that. I like that.
I like that. Hey guys, thanks. I'm gonna circle back around. I'm gonna see what else I can get over here. Guys, Spotty and John, some great inputs there. Go Broncos indeed. And I'll make sure. Okay, see if we can't get any of the other guys up here a little early. But as you can see from the stadium behind me, guys, people already flooding in, and I know just this place is about to start rocking louder than we probably have ever heard, at least in the last 10 years. Hey, man, you want to do a quick interview?
No. Is this
No.
a whiskey podcast?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, we got it now. That's fine. That's fine. Hey, can we get a Go Broncos? Yeah, there we go. Go Broncos! There we go. I love it. Let's also talk about coaching for a little bit. I think Sean Payton definitely has the advantage when it comes to, between him and Sean McDermott. I think at the end of the day, guys, it's a big factor that these guys are taking into account. Sorry, guys, bear with me as we work through some technical difficulties. There we go. Yeah, so between Sean McDermott and Sean Payton, guys, this is a big advantage, I think, for Sean Payton. Look, we saw what the Bills did last year. And this isn't the Bills of last year, I understand that. But Sean Payton has the experience over Sean McDermott. Sean Payton has the playoff wins, the playoff strategy in place. And it's going to be interesting to see because we've talked for the last several weeks about, have the Broncos been holding back? Has the play calling been iffy? Yes, it definitely has. Have we looked vanilla over the last several games? Yes, we have. But with that being said, what are they going to do to open up that playbook? Sean Payton was even talking about this last week, in terms of, excuse me, he's been talking about not being cautious, and it's easy to get cautious as you maybe get older. You want to protect the football, and you want to set your team up for success. But at the same time, when you're playing a team that has somebody like Josh Allen on it, you cannot sit back and wait. Guys, hit that share button for me. Post your comments, post your questions, and let's get talking about the Broncos game coming up here in a little bit. Over an hour away from kickoff, guys. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Still looks like I'm having maybe a little bit of difficulty. Bear with me. Sorry, guys. Okay, maybe cell service is a little spotty here today. But look, at the end of the day, one thing that's not going to be spotty is the Denver Broncos. I think they're going to come out here. They're going to come out strong. They're going to come out looking really good because
they got the shot key too.
Oh yeah. Okay. We do have another shot ski coming up, guys. If you haven't been to this tailgate, first off, if you ever want to come down to this tailgate, everybody is more than welcome. You're all invited. You don't have to bring anything. No money, nothing like that. We got the shots. We got the shots going behind me, guys. We have the food. Today we had some buffalo wings, which is, of course, very fitting for what, the circumstances. This tailgate, I'll be honest, I wasn't a big tailgate, but now I am. And a lot of it has to do with just the people. These guys are phenomenal. Broncos Country is phenomenal. Broncos Gang is for real as well. And again, just anybody is always welcome to come down to the tailgate, whether you're going to the game or not. Come on down. Assuming you have a game next week as well in Denver. We'll be doing this all over again as we get ready for the Broncos to hopefully make their way to the Super Bowl. But it starts today. It starts today. You have to get past the Bills. You have to show up, and you have to be able to play a majority of the game really well. You can't expect to just show up in the fourth quarter. Hey guys, how we doing? I'm glad you're all in here already. Oh man, the comments are now starting to pour in. I wasn't seeing any of these comments before, guys. We got Ayla in here. We got Gary, Matt, all you guys. All of a sudden, the comments just popped up. I'm telling you, I'm having some issues. But let's see who we have up over here as well. We got Adam on the stage, sir. Mr. Adam, how you doing, buddy?
Is something going on today? We normally play on Sunday, and it's Saturday, and I don't know why so many people. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the playoff
I kind of just
game.
showed up.
Oh man! Oh my God! If you do not
It's
have
the
a pulse right
playoffs.
now,
Broncos club.
if you don't have a,
It's phenomenal, man. You were here earlier.
I was at the pregame when it hadn't quite popped off yet, but it looks like it's starting to get pretty crazy down there. So
Yeah, and it's kind of dying off a little bit because everybody's heading on inside, and I'm going to head on off here in a few minutes and hand it over to you, Adam. And I think Jared is going to pop up in here in a second as well. So I apologize to everyone. I wasn't seeing any of your comments or anything up until like a minute ago. So I appreciate all of you tuning in. Make sure you hit that share and follow button, guys. And then make sure you tune in for the halftime hash show as well, where we break down the first half of the game. But we've been talking about injuries. We've been talking about what to expect and some strategies from this game as well. And we got Jared here as well. Jared, sir, how's it going, man? No, I can't hear you. I can't. I got nothing. You can go fix that. That's fine. We're doing.
You muted me. This is on you.
No,
Drinks
my
have you had, Kevin?
Not enough. Not enough. That's the Broncos. We are so close here, Jared. You are missing out, and that's rubbing in your face right here. But just again, the feeling from Broncos Country, and a lot of people have been talking about today, how slow this week has felt. Because people are absolutely excited. The feeling amongst all the fans here, and I'll be honest, there are some Bills fans. There's not a lot. There are not a lot of Bills fans here. It is mostly a sea of orange, and that is going to play into our favor big time when it comes to our defense being on the field.
Yeah, I mean this is huge. Just like you said, the week's been slow. Everybody's feeling it. We start off as underdogs, and we came out a little bit on top. But still, for the home field advantage, doesn't seem right for the amount of points they're giving us. It's just we've been waiting for a long time, and it's do or die time for the Denver Broncos. It's do or die time for Sean Payton. It's do or die time for all of us right now to get out there and show them that we're not going to be a one and done team, and we got this. There should be no reason. Go out there and prove to the world, prove to all the haters, which I would want to do more than anything in my body, prove all the haters wrong and tell them that the Denver Broncos are here. We got the number one for a reason. We're at home. Buffalo, you're in our home this time. Let's show them what we can do.
I mean,
Gary says I don't look as cool as I usually do, but I'll be honest, it's a little cold, but that sun is warm. So I would take that as a compliment there, Gary, and just say thank you very much. Hey, I'm going to sign off. I got Spotty and John one more time. Hey, guys, one more Let's Go Broncos for the group here. Ready? Let's go, Broncos! Hey, guys, I'm going to sign on off. We're going to head on into the stadium, and then I'll dial back in when I'm in there, okay?
All right. Thanks, Kev.
Jared, how you doing,
All right,
buddy?
Adam. Good. Yourself?
Oh, my goodness. I felt like a kid on Christmas today. It was hard to go to sleep, and then I woke up even before the kiddo was up. I was like ready for today. We are just an hour away. We're just an hour away.
Crazy, man. This morning's like just was so slow. Every second of it is yeah, like you said, it's this morning. And man, there's a part of me that woke up a little nervous though, man. We could talk about that today. We have about an hour before kickoff, guys. We should talk about that. There's some nerves, right? There's some nerves in here that like I'm motivated. I'm ready for it. I'm all gonna be screaming in the backyard here in San Diego. Everyone's gonna be able to hear me. But I'm a little nervous because if this doesn't go well and something happens, I now have to go, oh no, you guys were right. And I don't want to do that. I think you said it the best, Adam. And I said it on the pregame podcast. I said it last Tuesday. You put it best. They have the absolute best player on that field. Hands down, I don't think anybody can deny they have the best player on that field. But we have 2 to 53. So like like let's go out there and show that it doesn't take one person to win a game, that it takes a whole team, and that we're ready for this. And we've had the extra week, we have the health, we have all these things going for us, and now it's time to put up or shut up. And it's 1 hour away, and man, I can't wait.
So with you being a little nervous, Jared, I guess what is the thing that you are most nervous about? What gives you the most pause when it comes to the game today?
I think my big one is I'm going to start pulling up some of these while we go to. I think my big nerves here right now is mostly what happened last year, but also what happened in the Jacksonville game, and knowing that the Denver Broncos are not a team that's going to go out there and put up 35 points on you without you scoring. We're going to play to the game, and knowing that they have Josh Allen on that other side means at any given point he could take over the game. And they could drive down. They got Dawson Knox back, right? They got right. They have some people, and then our run defense needs to be able to do the stopping. Absence of Brandon Jones gives me pause, right? I love PJ Locke, but what's he going to be able to do back? So there's little things, and like I said, the big one is we go with the flow of the game, and at any given point, if Josh Allen has a chance to go down there and win the game for him, if they're down by 1 or 2. I'm nervous, and I don't want that to happen. I'd like to go up a little bit comfortably to get there, but I mean it's any given Sunday, any given Saturday for this case, and it's put up or shut up time. And also the other thing that gives me pause is I've been talking a lot of shit. Like I've been talking a lot. Like everyone's been telling me, hey man, that they're just going to be one and done. They're not that good of a team, and I'm like, all the facts in the world aren't going to shut up the haters, but like telling them everything, like you don't get the first seed without being a good team. That's not how this happens. It doesn't matter if it's a weird NFL year. It doesn't, if they're all NFL teams, they're all trying to win the Super Bowl too. So yeah, let's go out there and beat them for obviously so we can move on to the AFC Championship game, but also so that I can go back to work tomorrow on Monday and tell everybody to suck it.
I mean, that is part of it too. I'm a little bit of a shit talker too. So, but what I've told people all week is that be nervous about the stakes of the game because it's a one game season and derpy stuff happens. Sometimes the ball it doesn't bounce your way. Don't be afraid of the Bills because the Bills are not the team that they were last season. And they aren't the team of 2 years ago either. I kind of went back and watched the game from last year, and you just got the feeling that Denver was happy to be there. They kind of let the emotion of the game get to them a little bit. They played with a lot of emotion, but they also made a lot of mistakes emotionally too. I don't think that's going to be the case today. Not with the home crowd behind them. And I'm telling you, there's been a vibe and there is a buzz, whatever you want to call it, in the air. Like Broncos country is ready. The Broncos are ready. So I for whatever experiences you want to draw on last year, and that's fine. I think they're gonna actually draw on a lot of that experience and maybe come out a little bit more disciplined, especially with the tackling. The tackling wasn't necessarily in that first matchup. I just think that you're going to see a very buttoned up, a very disciplined effort from your Denver Broncos today.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into these comments, I love that we have such a strong fan base, and I want to take a moment to thank Broncos country in general and anybody who follows us here at Bourbon, no BS. Yeah, I love it. James coming in with the prediction, and then Jerry was asking for doing prediction. We are doing predictions. I mean, we're still in this. We're still have a game today. Again, the rules for the prediction, we're going to do it probably as Sean, one of our trusted followers here. We're about 10 to 15 minutes before kickoff. We'll do the score predictions. But yeah, you get one score prediction that you get to put in. You have to choose the Broncos to win. If you guess it correctly, we get you a Bo Nix jersey sent directly to you. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200 because that's how much the jersey kind of costs. But yeah, we'll do the score predictions towards the end of the show. But for now, let's talk about a couple big things. Obviously, what are we doing in the on the defensive side of it to stop? Right, we talked about the best player in the field is their quarterback. He's kind of banged up from last week, right? He had that hand injury.
Absolutely.
He was limited in practice for a couple weeks at the beginning. Obviously, that he's not going to not play. However, he's going to go out there and do what Josh Allen does. And so how does the defense stop it? James over here thinks that 𝐓𝐚𝐥𝐤 and McMillan are going to get an interception on. I was this close to taking him in a parlay for over half an interception because I think it was like 1.2 times. I was real close. I was like, I think we could do it. I think it happens.
I think we can too. I mean, I did see a stat to this week where of the 11 times that Josh Allen has thrown a pick, it has been when he's been blitzed. So if there is a strength that the Broncos have and a clear advantage that the Broncos have, it is our defensive line versus a very, very average Buffalo offensive line. So I do think exactly, Andrew put it best. The two best of the offensive defensive line, I think Denver has a better offensive line, and I think Denver has a better defensive line. And that's not just me being a homer. I think when you got two all-pros on your offensive line and you got two all-pros on your defensive line, you're arguably that's where you're the strongest. So I think Denver has a clear advantage in the trenches.
It's worth mentioning that Ed Oliver will be back in this game. I think he's been out for a few weeks, him coming back. But him coming back to a what looks like, from Kevin being on earlier in the show, a very hostile crowd. And the altitude, we got to mention the altitude. I'm like, coming off of an injury and not being able to do your running to get your cardio in, and then coming to altitude and expecting to play a full game. He's going to be on a snap count. But he is the guy that we have to make sure we know where he is on the field. But other than that, on the defensive side, there's not a lot of people that we really have. Like, they don't have like the Max Crosby. They don't have the right. You could say Rousseau is kind of similar to that. Like, you got to kind of know where he is, but they don't have somebody on the defensive line on the front that we really have to hey, watch where he is at all times. And I trust every single one of our offensive linemen to be able to keep Bo clean. And I also trust Bo to keep himself clean. He's been doing a much better job of escaping pockets that were collapsing on him and not trying to escape pockets that weren't collapsing on him. So I got to give him credit for that. We just got to go out there and play our game. This moment can't be too big for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Right? It can't be too big for them. Yes. We made the playoffs last year, so we have playoff experience, and that end game ended terribly against this team, right? But we are a very young team in a lot of aspects. The oldest people I think we have is Cortland and Garrett, I think, are two of the older guys that we have on the team. You could argue that Allen on the D, Zach Allen, has is a little bit more of a veteran in the league. But in general, we're a very young team, and we can't let this moment get to us. We got to go in there and be like, this is another game. We've won 14 of them already. We can win this one, and we have our home crowd behind us, which I absolutely love. I think that getting the first round more than anything, minus the bye last week, being at home right now means a lot for them. It means a lot for them as a game to be able to help with their game. But it also means a lot for Broncos country and what we've had to deal with for the past 10 years after that Super Bowl win. It just means so much, and you can tell the way that Kevin's talking to some of those guys out there.
Oh, yeah. Just want to highlight Sean. Dude, that's how you know the reach that Broncos country has when even London, England is representing right now. No, I don't think that can be understated on what the advantage of being at home will be today. Because this is the last home playoff game since the AFC Championship game versus the Patriots.
Correct, when we won the Super Bowl.
So I mean,
10 years ago.
I know that if I were there today, it would be like, I'm going in there to lose my voice. I'm going in there to be as loud and as hostile. And I mean, Sean Payton has given Broncos country their marching orders, and he's basically said, like, guys, we need you to disrupt this huddle. We need you to be as loud and as crazy as possible. And I've said this a couple times. If Buffalo thinks that the small market team in Florida and their stadium was a hostile environment, that's going to be child's play compared to what they're going to walk into today.
Yeah, I mean, we have some of the most diehard fans, and I absolutely love Broncos country for a lot of reasons. I mean, I love sports in general for that reason, right? It brings people together that you never would have really seen outside of like being at a game or whatever, and it brings people from all all places of life together, and it just everybody has a solid goal, and it's going to be for the Broncos. And we have such a historic past, and we have such a historic franchise that Jacksonville just doesn't have. They're trying to build it, and it's hit or miss, and it has been for the past 10, I guess 20 something years since they've been around. But that's nothing compared to what they're going to see here in Denver. You're right, and the altitude. People keep forgetting about that. I mean, you saw, it the Green Bay game when Green Bay came to us? They were on oxygen masks halfway through the game, and we ended up coming back or just absolutely killing the second half of that game. So there's a portion there that we're ready for, and we've been practicing at home. We've been practicing at home for the last 2 weeks. So we got that. We have that adjustment in. They didn't fly in until Friday, yesterday.
Yeah.
So they had no intention. Their intention was to get better, right? And this is what their head coach said. They said, we're going to try to get healthy before we fly out. So they didn't give themselves the 2 to 3 days that it takes to adjust to the altitude. So expect that to be a problem for Buffalo today.
I mean, absolutely. To see the damage that Denver has done in the fourth quarter. Almost all the stats that are out there. Bo's way more efficient in the fourth quarter. The defense has been playing lights out when it gets down to that fourth quarter. I personally think it's going to be that kind of a game. As much as I would love it too, to just go and boat race Buffalo. I mean, that just kind of hasn't played out all year. It's not how Denver's won games all year.
Right.
And I with Buffalo, I think being a worthy opponent. I don't think that this is going to be a track meet. I think this is going to be a fist fight. And if there's a team that I don't think is really afraid of a fist fight, I think it's Buffalo coming back against New England. They have some resolve and they have some guts, and you got to think that they kind of feel like all the pressure's on Denver. It's not on them. We have to go out and prove that we're the number one seed. We're the one who needs to prove that we're worthy of that. So I feel like maybe Buffalo is maybe coming and being a little bit looser. But I mean, Ed Oliver is coming back today, but I mean, that's a big boy with the very thin air, and you gotta wonder, like, how effective is he going to be? Curtis Samuel is a guy that kind of gave the Broncos a little trouble last year. How effective is he going to be coming off of IR and just getting activated for today's game? So you have all these different storylines that are out there. At the end of the day, I think the Broncos are just a better team, just hands down. I'm maybe glad that everybody's maybe taking my little insight there, but no disrespect to Josh Allen, he is who he is, but we're better 2 through 53. We're the better team. We're the hands down better team, and we just need to play like that today. Yeah,
absolutely. There was some just real quick getting into it. I left my phone in the other room. That's not a good idea. But just getting into it, I know everybody was really excited that Taylor Lohner, our 6th round pick for tight end, he's like a 6'8" former basketball player, was brought up from the practice squad. He is inactive. So if anybody was wondering if we're going to see him, we're not going to see him. He's listed as inactive. I was actually getting ready to try to pull that up real quick, the inactive list. But yeah, other than that, though, like, I think Buffalo has like 14 people or something ridiculous on the IR. And obviously they're not healthy. But I also want to mention something that you said, Adam, and it's that Buffalo doesn't have really anything to play for. I kind of argue the other side. We have something to play for because it's like everybody says that we're going to be a one and done team in the playoffs, and that it's it. So we have to prove them wrong. And I love, again, as Bo Nix would say, I love being the underdog. Keep making us the underdog. Please keep making us the underdog. But on the other side, there's a lot of talk around Josh Allen being the only real quarterback, right? And I put that in quotes completely, right? In the AFC right now, when you don't have Lamar Jackson, when you don't have Patrick Mahomes, when you don't have Joe Burrow, he has no excuse to not win the Super Bowl this year. And and I've seen that flying around on every national media that you can listen to. Every article I read, it's all about Josh Allen has no excuse to win it. This is his year. But he does kind of have an excuse. So he has some pressure on his back, but he also has the excuse of he has 13 people on the IR.
Right.
He has 3 active wide receivers on his roster right now. So he definitely has a problem, which really means they're going to go 2 tight end set. And this is kind of going into a little bit what we talked about in the pregame podcast. And Adam, you wrote really well about this in the if you go to broncosandbourbon.com, you wrote a really good in-depth article about they're going to go 2 tight end set, right? Obviously, Dawson Knox being back, that gives them an extra target. But they're going to run the ball. They have to run the ball. So we have to pick up what Jacksonville did on the run game because they did a really good job of stopping Cook. They didn't do a good job of stopping Josh Allen. So I think he ran for like 80 yards or something ridiculous. But they did a good job of stopping James Cook. And I think that if we could stop Cook, then we can stop Allen as well, right? I think we have the better defense to make up for that.
Absolutely. I know that James Cook, led the NFL with like 1,600 yards on the ground. He is actually a pretty decent receiver out of the backfield. So he does kind of give you that dual threat. Jacksonville did do a good job of containing him. I saw him like kind of hobbling around a lot during that Jacksonville game. He wasn't on the injury report for the week, but you got to figure maybe he's a little banged up too.
Yeah.
But to just kind of put into perspective on how important it's going to be to stop the Buffalo running game between Josh Allen and between James Cook, they ran for 2,000 yards. And Allen had 14 scores on the ground. Cook had another 12 on the ground. That's where they do their damage. If you can contain that and mitigate the impact it'll have, I don't know that they have much else to be able to throw at our defense. Granted, Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox did have 100 catches between the two of them, which is a lot. But again, this is a matchup that I think really favors Denver. If they're able, and I think that it's where Denver can use that 5-man front that they've used previously, where they can have the 3 defensive tackles in there and then the 2 edge rushers. If they can just and like what you were saying earlier in the week, I do think they're going to see a heavy dose of zone coverage to keep all 11 eyes on Josh Allen at the same time. And it's what you have to do. He's the X factor. He's the straw that turns the drink right now. So if you mitigate their run game, I don't know that they have too much to throw at us.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to that real quick. But Sean, we'll talk about this probably in the off season a little bit more. I'm actually really worried. I'm interested in what we do because we only have J.K. Dobbins on a 1-year contract and we haven't renewed for a new contract. I'm interested to see if we try to keep him. And if we do, I don't think running back is in our we need to go get a running back between him and R.J. Harvey, and obviously with McMillan back there, or McLaughlin. We have enough. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think going out and it's depending on what it takes to get him and what it takes to sign him. Obviously, the front office is going to do that. We'll go really in depth in the off season about what we think the Broncos need. But right now, to your point, here's what another thing I'm concerned about, and we'll just talk about it is in order to stop Josh Allen, you can't play man the whole game like we want to do, right? Because you saw it against Jacksonville where they go man up against their wide receivers. And obviously both of our corners will match up against, I think I take Riley Moss over their number 1 wide receiver any day. So we can clearly match up with their corners, man. But we can't do that. And the reason is because Josh Allen has legs and they're long and they're gazelle-like. And they will get upfield. If you allow him to go medium to deep at deep routes, and open up a side of the field, he's going to get 20 yards. And we can't allow that. So you're going to see a lot of zone. You're going to see a lot of zone defense. What I'm worried about that is obviously this is where Josh Allen thrives, right? He finds the empty spots in the zone and he can be able to deliver a ball. And obviously their offensive coordinator, who I have to look up real quick who it is right now, but whoever's calling the plays for them is definitely going to go out there, and he's going to find where the soft spots are in the zone. So this is really going to be, and you know how I love my coaching matchups, and I love this the chess game behind this is BJ going to be able to call the right plays at the right time versus an offense calling the right plays at the right time, right? And it's
Right.
difficult. We did a really good job this year, and one of the reasons our defense is so good is disguising our coverage very, very well. We did a really good job of disguising coverage. I'll never forget. I think it was the Kansas City Chiefs game. We sent a nickel blitz in, and he timed it so perfectly that Patrick Mahomes never saw him coming. Right? That's the kind of things that we do. We need to be able to do that against Josh Allen. We cannot let him get a pre-snap read in order to be able to find where the soft spot in the zone is.
I think if there is something that we do struggle with a bit, it is going to zone. It's just when you have a very fast, aggressive defense like Denver does, and with the pass rushers they have, it allows you to play man in the back and be comfortable back there. But I think if there is something, maybe give you a little bit of ease of mind there, Jared. They were almost exclusively in zone versus Green Bay, and were able to pull that game out and also come up with some stops. I think once they actually started getting comfortable, maybe later in the game, my biggest concern is gotta get out to a good start. It doesn't need to be, scoring drives on the first 2 drives of the game, but you can't go 3 and out. You can't spot Buffalo a 7-point lead and just completely take the crowd out of the game. I want to open on defense first. I want to put our stamp on the game because I think the defense is the better unit of the 4 of the Buffalo offense, Buffalo defense, and then our offense. I think that the Denver defense is hands down the better unit. So if they come out and really imprint themselves on the game by getting a good stop those first couple of drives, I think that's going to set us up for a lot of success. I also feel like this Buffalo defense can be run on and can be exploited. And if there have been times that the Denver offense is able to churn out 10-play drives, 12-play drives, 14-play drives, it's when they've been able to run the ball. So if RJ Harvey can get 50 yards on the ground, I think that's going to totally that's going to be a big indicator if we get this dub today. I think if Bo gets out on the perimeter a little bit and maybe Sean maybe wants to unleash that part of his game, I think that maybe that's going to be something that maybe Buffalo hasn't seen and also be a big advantage for us.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it was you or David that I was disagreeing with this on the other day, but I like the fact that Bo is trying to keep his head upfield and try to find the open receiver while he's taking off. I think he needs to tune it a little bit. When he has 20 yards, he should take the 20 yards and not try to force a throw. But there are some times where he could either get 5 or try to get a throw for a wide receiver coming across. And I appreciate that because if you looked at the Chargers game, and Herbert had an option, right? He rolls out, and he's only looking to run, and he had a wide open, like past the safety, wide open receiver. He could have read a book, ordered a Subway sandwich, ate it, and still got a touchdown, and he still ended up keeping the ball. So, like, I like the idea that Bo Nix is keeping his eyes upfield. But, yes, absolutely. There's some times where just get the yards and then come back and try another play. I like this from Angelo. I appreciate it. 70 yards from RJ, I think, would be huge. And I think that what that means is that we're staying on schedule. If we can get 5 yards of carry out of RJ or McLaughlin, depending on who the hot hand is, because I guarantee that's what we're going to do. We're going to go in there and find out who the hot hand is. Now, RJ is going to be stopped, right? And we talked in depth about this in the pregame podcast if you listen to it. And part of that is they're game planning against RJ Harvey. And then when we have our backup wide running back in, most people are like, okay, the odds of it going to him are slim. Let's go into coverage. So, yeah, he has more of an opportunity. He's not getting blitzed as much. He doesn't have the run-stop defense out there. So, yeah, he's getting a few more yards. So to put a stamp on who should be our starting running back, let's just kill that now. But I think if RJ Harvey can get 5 yards of carry, right, which is doable against this very poor run defense historically this year, I think he can do it. That means we're staying on schedule. We're getting 5 yards per carry, and we're moving the ball down the field, keeping their defense on, keeping Josh Allen on the sideline, where he can sit there and, try to breathe in that super thin air and figure out what he's going to do when he gets back out there. But, yeah, I absolutely love it. I do think that a big game from RJ is good. Sean says, Harvey's been great since stepping up. But we do need that experience at running back, as we were talking about the Etienne look. But yeah, I mean, Dobbins going down kind of hurt a little bit, and it took a few games. It really did take a few games to kind of figure out what RJ's like niche was. And I think we kind of figured it out, where he's having decent runs, and he's not going to be a showstopper. He's not going to be the guy that people are talking about on ESPN as the run of the week. But he's getting exactly what we need to do. And in the pass game, he's absolutely electric. You get the ball into his hands in open field, and he's gone. And I love that about him. His ability to go from 0 to 60 so fast when he hits the hole is absolutely fantastic to have. We just got to find him the hole. We just got to get him that position to put a defensive player in the wrong position by a half a step, and he's going to be gone. We haven't seen that yet too much. I think we saw it once or twice this season, but for the most part, it's there. But you have to keep giving it to him. And we can't get ourselves into one of these games where we force ourselves to have to throw the ball in order to catch up or to be able to do whatever we need to, because I think that's the key to the game.
Right. I've been very vocal that I don't know that I really like putting the game too much on Bo, where he has to throw it 40, 45 times. I always prefer to be a little bit more balanced, but I do think Jaleel McLaughlin is not really taken over as the first and second down guy, but he's been able to really give some cover to RJ Harvey and take some of those carries away from him. RJ is really kind of what we've been talking about as far as jokers all season and what Evan Ingram was supposed to be. If there's a guy that's really shown a ton of versatility and where they can play him, is RJ Harvey. And I don't think you can also discount Tyler Bidet and what he does in the pass game. With the thin air, not being very deep on the defensive line, if Denver can show an effective screen game today, again, big fingers crossed.
Oh man, it's so funny. Spotty would be having a heart attack if he heard you say that right now.
I'm not talking about like 15 bubble screens. I'm talking about like 3 or 4 like well-timed screens where we catch him in the blitz. If we can catch him in the blitz a couple of times, I think that's going to go a long way towards winning the game. But we're about 41 minutes in. Do we want to start maybe taking some predictions for the score?
We can. We got about 30 minutes to kick off here, so we can. It looks like some people are starting to put in their scores. It looks like everyone's kind of excited. If you want to throw in your scores now, we'll go through a few of them now. We'll go through them again about 10 minutes before the kickoff, so we got about another 20 minutes to talk. But yeah, go ahead and go post them. If you get it right and the Broncos win, you have to predict the Broncos win. You cannot predict that the Bills will win. I will
non-negotiable
somehow figure out how to computer and delete your comments. But if you pick the Broncos to win and you correct the score exactly, screenshot that and send it to us on either YouTube, Facebook, wherever you can find us, and we'll send you a Bo Nix jersey in honor of our 10th anniversary here at Bourbon Broncos No BS. So I see a couple coming in. Let me go see if I can scroll around here. Gary came in 31-14. He really thinks this is going to be a blowout. Kind of a turnaround from last year's game in Buffalo. Larry Carter 2327 prediction 27-17 Broncos all day. I like that prediction. I do. And here's the other thing that was making me nervous is that some of these predictions are coming in. I'll talk about it in a second. 31-24. Thinks it's going to be kind of a high scoring game there. For James 27-20. I like it. Winning by a touchdown puts a lot of pressure off of the defense if it does go into Josh Allen's hands. Being up by more than 3 points, if it does come down to the last 2 minutes, being up by more than 3 points is so crucial. 24-21, David thinks it's going to be a really close one. Let's see. Jeremy, 34-27 Broncos. I like it. Again, being up by a touchdown, if it goes into his hands, they have to score a touchdown. I feel a lot more comfortable that way than having them get in the field goal range to either tie or win the game. 34-10. Ronnie coming in hot. Coming in hot with the just. It's going to be a boring game for everybody, but everybody in that stadium and us watching at home. 24-21. Again, winning by a field goal. I kind of like the idea again, being up by at least 3. If they kick it and then it goes into overtime, it is what it is. But at least being up by 3 at the end of the game. 17-26. Winning by 9. I like that idea. And then another 31-17. There's a lot of folks out there. You guys are all thinking that this game is going to be a little bit of a of a mismatch, like a
Which
heavily mismatch.
I'm 100% here for. I mean, if it happens, I will not be mad at that. Not even in the slightest.
Yeah, and then we got 37-30. Oh man, I love them. They're keep coming in, man. I appreciate you guys sending these in. Again, screenshot it if that is the right score. So ones that I want to be the right score. Here, where's my orange and blue? I'll put these ones on. Orange and blue goggles on. Let's see. I want 34-10, one of my favorites.
That's a good
31-17,
one.
love it. I hope you
That's a
guys.
good one.
I hope you guys. I would. Nothing would give me more happiness than sending that to you guys. That Bo Nix jersey to you guys, if that is the case. And then 31-24 even. I think I like that. I love that score. If we can go out there and do it. Okay, let's come back down. We got Angelo coming in 24-17, again up by a touchdown. Love it. 24-20, up by 4. Again, I'm here for it with Andrew. Appreciate that. Anthony with the 23-17. Thinks it's going to be a little bit of a slower game, which we've talked about. I think that at least for the first half, it's going to be a slow game. The other thing that gives me pause for this, not just the slow game concept and the low score, is what gives me pause is watching all of the games last week. First of all, super happy to not be stressed and just watch. Just be able to just put it on the screen and do something in my garage for no reason and just kind of tinker and like watch the game like, oh man, that must suck for Houston, or oh man, that poor Jacksonville, right?
Right.
So that was nice. But I also, what I noticed is that almost every single one of the games, except for that Monday night game, was just a close game all the way till the final seconds. And the games that you didn't think were going to be that way came down to the final seconds, right? The Buffalo-Jacksonville game, I didn't think Jacksonville really had a chance, right? And I think that the Buffalo coming back and winning that and doing what they did, especially with it hurt Josh Allen, was absolutely phenomenal in Jacksonville. But I'm watching those games and I'm like, oh man, if this comes down to this, again, they have a Josh Allen on their side, but we have a Bo Nix. And this is probably the first year, even last year towards the end of the year, I was kind of like, man, is this really going to be in Bo Nix's hands to go do this thing, right? And I'm not worried anymore. I'm not worried that if it comes down to 2 minutes and we're down by 2, we're going to be able to get in a field goal position to be able to big nuts Lutz it in the uprights to win the game at the end of the game. On the same side, I'm worried that if they have it and we're only up by 2, right? So that's another thing that gives me pause, is that how the game goes is so important. And I couldn't tell you, Buffalo has the big playability. They always have with Josh Allen and with Cook. Cook can take off for the runs. That's why he's gotten so many yards in his career this year. They have the big playability. We're not a big play team, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. We're not the big play. We're going to get the big 80-yard touchdown or 60-yard touchdown. We're the first and 10, second and 6, third and 2, first down. First and 10, second and 6, third and 2, first down, right? And we're going to eat up as much of the clock as possible. We're going to go down there and hopefully score. Our red zone has been a little porous in the past couple of weeks. So that's a big part. We can't settle for field goals. We got to get a couple touchdowns, whether that be RJ Harvey or Bo Nix throwing for something. We got to get those touchdowns in there. So that's, again, gives me a little pause that if this does come down to the last seconds, all of us are going to lose 4 years off of our lives hearing about it.
Well, I mean, this whole season's kind of taken some of the years off the ticker a little bit. So I'm okay if there's more taken up, but it's got to be in a winning effort, though. It can't be to lose years off your heart and something happens. That's not a good thing. But Gary,
I can't with this.
Gary, you're a crazy guy, Gary. You're a crazy guy. But I guess if we're talking about maybe things are giving us pause, what are things that maybe giving you some like, okay, like, yeah, like for me, I think it's a tailor-made matchup for our offense. I don't think that Buffalo, don't get me wrong, they're still well coached. They got some players on their team that I do like. I like Rousseau. They're going to get Ed Oliver back, but they're also missing some guys from their secondary. They're missing Jordan Poyer, who is arguably their best player. Matt Milano is a good backer, little not as athletic as you would like, and starting to get a little bit older. So if there's kind of that X factor, I do really think the Denver offense needs to exploit where Buffalo is not very good. And I know that I've criticized Sean Payton and his play calling a little too liberally sometimes, but I also think he outsmarts himself a little bit. So if there is one thing that I could offer to Sean, buddy, pal, run the damn ball, please. Just you don't need to put it up 45 times a day. I want to see just taking that football and shoving it up their nose and running it at will against them, because combine that with the altitude, combine the fact that they're already a bit depleted. If you can start mashing on them for when those 4-yard carries start turning into 5-yard carries, start turning into 6-yard carries, start turning into 7 and 8-yard chunks of yardage, slow the pace and just grind these guys out, send them back to Buffalo, and let's get ready for an AFC championship game.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point, the Buffalo Bills have like the 28th or 29th defense against the run. So, like, why not run the ball? We have 3 running backs back there that could do it. So swap them in and out. One gets 10 yards, he's tired, give him another, give the next guy, and just let our offensive linemen bully their defensive line and linebackers. And let's just go at them. We'll go 2 tight end the whole game. I don't give a shit. Right? I don't need Bo Nix to throw up 300 yards. I did not put money on him. I think his over was like 230. I'm not putting money on over 230. I don't want that. I want him to run the ball, and I want him to put up 150 good, solid, no turnover yards when we need that third and medium. And I think that's kind of what our game plan has been, especially towards the end of the season. And this one, again, we've had an extra week to kind of prepare. We kind of had an idea who we're going against. And now we knew it was the Bills. We've been sitting at home kind of studying. I trust that going back to it, things that give me excitement. A, they have 13 players on the IR. It's hard to win when you have 13 of your starters on the IR. The second is when we've had the bye week, we have the altitude, and we have the coach who we know is going to do the homework on both sides. I think VJ is absolutely fantastic. It's going to suck when we lose him, because everybody knows that's going to happen. Yeah. But he's absolutely fantastic when he's game planning. And the other thing that we haven't had in a long time is that halftime adjustment. We've been doing a really good job at the halftime adjustments, defensively and offensively. So, like, being able to adjust at halftime if we need to, if something is or isn't working. And I love that idea. So those are the things that gives me a lot. So while you were talking there, I looked it up. Joe Brady is the one that calls the offensive plays.
That's right.
Can Joe Brady be able to call the plays against the zone? And here's the other thing. Again, when you have he's a younger offensive coordinator. January 24 is when he was kind of put in there. But when you have a guy like Josh Allen, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight, and we'll get back to your comments real quick, guys. I'm sorry. When you're calling plays at the NFL level, you're normally going with 2, right? They're giving you 2. There's a one really long play. I really want this play to work. But if they're in man or if they're in zone, you want it a zone or man killer normally. And if you can tell that they're in man, you throw somebody in motion. If they follow, it's in man. If they don't, it's not, right? It's pretty simple. And if they're in man and it's a man beater, then you call the play, you let it go. And then you have a kill play, right? That kill play is usually like a run or some sort of screen, something that's an easy, like, okay, let's just kill it and we'll just go to this gap. What Buffalo used to be really good at doing, and this year it's been a little bit hit or miss. What Buffalo used to be really good at doing is they would give 3, right? They would give a man beater, a zone beater, and then a run. And I don't know if that's Josh Allen with his experience in the league now, just knowing what he can call.
Right.
But that's another thing that gives me a little bit of frustration is, like, it's hard for defenses to call anything if they can tell what you're in, which is why we need to disguise our defense so much. Because if they can tell what you're in, he's just going to call it against to beat you on the line. Right. That's what Peyton Manning. We won a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning was probably the worst quarterback in his entire time of being an NFL quarterback the year we won the Super Bowl. But what he could do is he could go to the line, and he had the whole playbook. He could just call whatever he wanted on the line. He didn't need an offensive coordinator. He just went up there and was like, all right, they're in zone. Let's call this. And then all of a sudden it's a 3-yard wobbly duck pass to Demaryius Thomas, and like all of a sudden we're getting yards. And so that's something that Josh Allen's getting to, and that's a little bit worrisome. But ultimately, I think that's what we're trying to get Bo Nix to. Bo Nix is still very much into his Sean Payton system, which I love because I think the Sean Payton system can work. But he's also, you've seen in games like the Giants, in games that we've had to come back, where he goes out there and it's no longer, your kill play is no longer a run game. Your kill play is now, okay, here's what I want to run. If it's man, I want you to kill this man beater. really depending on how we go to it and go into it. Sorry, I'm going to get off my high horse real quick. I do appreciate the running game comment. I think that is super important, right? Again, I think if we get over 70 yards on the ground, I love the screen idea. I am a big fan of the screens. I think that works really well. I would like to see us a little bit more. I don't know why we haven't thrown downfield to Marvin Mims much. I don't know if it's just because he's not built into it.
Exactly.
A lot of like sweeps and trying to get the ball in his hand in open field. But if we can get the ball in his hands in open field, downfield, then it's just another huge thing. I'd love to see a big game from him. I'd love to see a big game from Ingram. I think that's a matchup that made in heaven for us if we can try to get him the ball.
Yeah.
Not only for against their slot corners, but against their linebackers. If we can get that, that's a mismatch hit in heaven. And then, yeah, I also see RJ Harvey. I took a big bet on, I'll be honest, I put a lot of money on RJ Harvey's over receiving yards because I think that the screens and just his ability to run if you saw, forget what game I was watching this last weekend, but they ran the Texas route like 3 plays in a row.
Oh,
and it worked every single time. It was freaking wild. I think it was it Buffalo Jacksonville?
Was it the 49ers?
It was either that or the Chargers. It was one of the two AFCs, I think. It was either the Chargers or the Jaguars that went out there and they ran that Texas route from the backfield like 3 plays in a row and like drove down the field like on one route. It was wild.
You know what? I think that was the Jacksonville game because of ETN.
Yeah, and so like let's see that and let's do it because if we could do that and they're going to overcommit to the out because they know that we go the out, right? And that is something that we've historically shown. We will send our running back into the out as an outlet. And then cut it back in and get it to him over the middle. I think that RJ Harvey has a huge play today. Yeah, Mims in space is really fun.
I mean, Marv is one of those guys that has that type of ability to break open a game with the big play. He's been doing it more in the return game. I just got this picture in my head of the first big score, like, let's say Mims takes one back or he gets one on a deep play, or let's say RJ Harvey breaks a long run that ends up scoring. That place, Mile High, is going to lose its mind and is going to be that much more of a hostile environment for Buffalo. So, I mean, I think that's pressure on Buffalo, like to get this crowd out of the game as quickly as possible. Yeah. I mean, the players have talked about it. The coaching staff has talked about it. There have been so many, alludes to how much the crowd is gonna impact today's game as well. So, I mean, if I haven't seen it yet, I mean, we've seen a couple of returns. So if Marv can get in on the find a spot for him to be able to get some production, I'm all for it.
Momentum is huge when you're in home field, and a lot of people don't like that. You talk to the Davids of the world, who's a stat master, and I love him for that. He's got a brilliant brain. I have to use this thing to count, right? But he hates things like who wants it more and who has the better culture and things like home field advantage and momentum. Momentum is huge, and if I can't imagine that anybody has enough service in that stadium right now to be able to be watching us right now. But if they were, my biggest advice would be don't let the momentum be lost, right? Yeah. Don't get discouraged when they have a big play. Go out there and still root for the team. There's always a chance to come back and win this game. Look at the freaking Bears. There's always a chance to come back and win a game. You just have to believe. You have to believe, right? Kevin Stein. You got to believe that we can do it so we get the momentum back by keeping the momentum. And that's on us as fans. That's on us as fans to keep the momentum. And I'll be honest, I'm the first person that's like something bad happens and we're down by 2 scores. I'm like, this is bullshit. I throw my thing here. I'll go grab a bag of chips and eat my feelings. And then I go back into it and I'm like, okay, guys, we can do this, right? But yeah, it's huge. James, I do want to mention on this. If there was an over under 0.5 on trick plays, I would bet the over. Sean, he's going to do one. It's going to be one, and he's going to. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works, he looks like a genius. But if it doesn't work, everyone's like, "Oh, all these trick plays are bullshit." But like, it's worked in the past. There was the one we have it in our intro show here. The one where Bo Nix posts up and catches the ball in the end zone. I think that was last year, but still, there's going to be one. There's an over under on 0.5. I bet that there's at least one.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that anybody. I know that I don't care for the trick play, because it's you call it and it works, you're a genius, and if you call it and it don't work, then it becomes a massive. What are you doing, Sean?
Right.
Because I call our coach by his first name. Like we've known each other for years.
I mean, he's pretty much like our bestie at this point. So
Pretty much. Pretty much.
yeah, we text on the weekends. We tell him that he's doing a great job. We never try to give him advice because you saw how that worked out. Did you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's like he's like, "What do you know about attacking downhill?" And the guy was like, I don't know who it was. I don't know who asked the question, but he was like, obviously it's great to have Dre Greenlaw, but you don't sit here and tell me you know anything about a linebacker attacking downhill in the run game. Like, get out of here with that. I think that's awesome. Hey Andrew, appreciate you. I know what this means. Thank you for giving us the stars on Facebook. Thank you, appreciate you. And again, I want to shout out again to all of you guys. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate you guys sticking with us here for the last 10 years and coming out and listen to us just talk about Broncos. And I hope that we're bringing up some of your guys' questions as we go here, trying to answer to what we know. And we're no experts. We're fans just like you, right? And we're just out here because we got tired of talking to our spouses, and our spouses said you need to find somebody else to talk to Broncos stuff about. So we did, and that's why we're here. So I appreciate you guys being here to be able to give our spouses a break from us talking Broncos football.
That's important.
All right, let's see. That's true. Sean did win a Super Bowl with this. That is absolutely fantastic. You know what? The other thing I saw too, and again, I don't want to go. Never mind. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to go negative. I think that the Broncos have this game. I do. I think the Broncos have this game, and would I like a 31-10 game? Absolutely. Am I a realist and think that's not going to be a 31-10 game? Probably.
Yeah.
Unless we can absolutely, if we can destroy in the first half, if we could destroy their will to want to keep playing, the second half is going to be really rough for them. I think regardless of what happens in the first half, second half is going to be rough for them. Altitude, all the other things. It's going to be tough for them and the fans. If we can destroy their will to want to play in the first half, I could see something like 31-10. But our offense has got to be able to be productive. And we haven't talked about this, and we don't much on any of our shows, but we have to talk a little bit about special teams. I think field position matters. If we can pin them inside their 10, that gives our defense a little bit more wiggle room to be able to make a mistake. Let them get a couple first downs, but then we get the ball back, and that's all that matters. And with that, Will Lutz has got to have a good day, right? We got to have him come out there and be Big Nuts Lutz. And if we could do that, and then I think my final point, and we have about 10 minutes left, and then we're going to wrap up the show so everybody can go grab their snacks and get ready for the game. But I do want to mention before we get to our final thoughts is that let's talk about the red zone.
Yeah,
where are we going wrong in the red zone that you can think of?
For me, I'm once you, at least for me anyway, I'm a bit more I don't want to say old school, but I do like being able to run the ball inside the 10. Just your passing lanes get congested down there. Defenses are able to kind of squat in zones when they're up against their own goal line. So for me, I like having a running game to be able to do that. Now, that is where I think we've missed J.K. Dobbins, who's just a bigger physical back who's able to grind out those yards inside the 10. And that's no disrespect to RJ Harvey. That's no disrespect to Jaleel McLaughlin. They're just not those guys, really. So that is where a guy like Evan Ingram comes in. If he was active, maybe a guy like a Caleb Lohner would have been a guy to maybe throw out there. But I think that's also one of those things of, we do kick field goals a lot in the red zone. I don't know that we can kick 4 field goals today. I think you need to go 50%. If you're gonna get in the red zone 4 times, 2 of those times you need to come away with 6.
I'm with you 100%. I think that we have to get at least 50% in the red zone to score touchdowns. Tight end in the red zone. It's just tough from a coaching perspective offensively.
Yeah.
With the quarterback, they have an extra player. Like the offense having a quarterback, they have an extra player to fill gaps on the offense. So if we go a 2 tight end set and we got Frank Crum right, coming in as our extra tight end, which we like to do in our heavy packages, right? We have him come in and he plays, or Palveski now with the people back. So we have him come back in, and we have all these big guys up front. They still have an extra guy. And I don't care how big and strong you are, you're not taking on two of them defensive linemen. So there's going to be holes that are going to be gapped and filled. And because of the backdrop, they are allowed to play a little closer to the line. It's just red zone is a whole different chess match when you're looking at play calling. But then you watch some of these other teams that are so successful in the red zone, and you're like, that looks so easy. And what I do love, and I'll say this, because my biggest pet peeve and watching any football game, and I'm just going to be open and honest about this, my biggest pet peeve is the pick play. I absolutely hate it. You have a wide receiver coming on the slant that just happens to be the same like depth as whoever's guarding the tight end or that slot guy, and then he throws it real quick to that. Like, I hate that play so much, and like 50% of the time it goes uncalled. I'd probably more than that. I'd say 75% of the time that goes uncalled. The Kansas City Chiefs are very famous, which is probably why it pisses me off so much. They're famous for this play. And then they get touchdown 25%, like 75% of the time, no one's calling it. And it's like, guys, this is such like a bullshit. Like, let the players play. Like, you can't have a guy come and block a guy that's playing man. You can't do that. Anyways, I'm going to get off my house. All right, so let me go into Michael. Appreciate you. Andrew, another one. I appreciate you guys with the stars. Again, we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for sticking around with us through all this. And it's great time, man. Adam, it is great time to be a Broncos fan right now. And the past 10 years that we've had to put up with, this feels like just fantastic for us. And like, that's probably why we woke up like Christmas morning. Like, if we'd made the playoffs the last 4 years, we probably wouldn't have felt this way when we woke up. But the fact that we're here, finally, we're back on top. We got to do the thing. Let's go out there and prove what we need to do. All right, let's go through a couple comments and we'll go through some final thoughts. Game kicks off in 9 minutes. Finally here, Adam. All right, we need tight ends more. I appreciate it. Gary says, I say give the Buffs more wiggle room than Adam and Kev Dan's pants. I assume, do you mean refs? No, Buffs. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not sure where that one was going. Is that a short joke? It might be.
I am sure. I was hoping Scotty and John would see that I am 6 feet tall and not a little person.
People can't tell because you look like you're 12 doesn't mean you're the height of a 12-year-old. So that's great. Kev is still the shortest person, including our dear friend Ayla. Regardless of actual height, Ayla is taller than Kevin, and we're not going to listen to anybody else say otherwise. And I think Ayla would agree. Thank you for jumping in. All right, yeah. Oh Lord, here we go. Nerves are shot. I'm feeling it. I got a little whiskey in me, a little bourbon in me to kind of kill the nerves a little bit and get out there and just watch a game. And guys, I'll say my final thoughts. I'm going to let Adam. I'm going to let you go. Final thoughts and your score prediction, and then I'll do my final thoughts, score prediction. We get ready for kickoff.
All right. So final thoughts. I have somehow been an unofficial correspondent, influencer, whatever you want to call it. I have been writing or talking about the Broncos in an official, unofficial capacity since the year after the Super Bowl. So I have not been able to experience what it was like to have a home playoff game. And I can tell you right now, all week, I mean, I was out in my Bronco gear all week. I would run into one or two people every single day saying, "Go Broncos. Are you ready for Saturday?" There is a buzz in the air. There is an emotion in the air. And I'm going to tell you right now, Buffalo, you're walking into a buzzsaw, baby. You're not going into Duval. You're not going back to whatever. You're coming into a very hostile environment that has been waiting for this day for quite some time. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm kind of the same mind. I don't know that Buffalo being a worthy opponent and not taking anything away from the Bills, I don't think it's your day today, guys. I just don't think it's your day today. It's not your time. It's not your time today. This is our time, and this is our day today. I'm going 24-20 Broncos, and the defense comes through with a stop late.
I love it. Again, more than 3 points at the end of the game before Josh Allen has a chance to drive down. Yeah, no, so here's my thing. Hey, I want Broncos country to not forget where we are right now. Right? With as much emotions as we're going to go through today, in the next 3 hours, we're going to go through every emotion possible. And let's remember that we're there finally, and we're a team that is going to have to be looked out for this year and next year. And yes, a Super Bowl this year would be awesome. And yes, beating the crap off the Bills after what happened last year would be awesome. But let's remember, we're finally back. And it's great to be a Broncos fan. It's great to be, part of Broncos country and all the things that you can possibly believe, and the feeling, like Adam said, we've been doing this now since the end of the Super Bowl. And it's about time. It's about time the Broncos are back on top. So let's enjoy the time. Let's enjoy the game. Sit back, have a drink, have some snacks. Things are going to go wrong. They always do. This is a football game. Let it happen. Calm down and come back out here. And also come back for halftime, because we didn't do our halftime show spiel. But we'll be back at halftime to talk about what happened during the game. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much. And as our producer would like to remind us, we're now at 24,100 followers. So thank you guys so much for Broncos Country for sticking with us for these 10 years. I know you guys have been there. But hey, man, it is 4 minutes to kick off. The team is probably out there getting ready. I don't have it pulled up. I got to go out in my backyard to check this out. Got some people coming over. Got my Broncos flag flying in my front yard. Show all these San Diego freaking anybody else who they came around to. But hey, I have a special guest here to help us send this off.
Here we
go. Come on, baby girl. All right.
Oh,
all right, sweetheart. What do we want to say? We want to end this, as we always do, with a very strong
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Broncos.
Appreciate you guys.
Baby.
Thank you guys so much.
In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go. Yeah, they know I'm a pro.